Hey guys, what is up and welcome to a new NVIDIA daily update video. So today, as per usual, let's go over NVIDIA stock. Let's go over what is happening with the stock today, why it's moving up. We'll say about 3.5%, very respectable move up. It actually moved up even more, but it sold off at, maybe a quarter of the gains. But nonetheless, a very, very respected move up based off of Jensen yesterday, of course, coming in, talking about Blackwell, saying how the demand is very, very high. So Jensen pumping the stock, but for real, like very nice move up. So let's talk about it. I'll give you my thoughts as per usual. And I'll talk about what I think is next. So if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to hit that like button. This is not financial advice and I am not a financial advisor. And of course, if you enjoy my analysis and whatnot, I do have a membership section on YouTube for just $2.99 a month. You get access to all my thoughts, posts, updates, technical analysis, sometimes on other stocks as well, like Google, Microsoft. Recently, I did Oxy before it moved up as well. Check it out for just $3 a month. And Tesla, of course, is the main one. Or for $5, you get access to all of that information, but also you get access to my NVIDIA daily updates as well. But let's just jump into it. NVIDIA closing the day up a beautiful we'll just say almost 3.5%, closing at just shy of $123 per share, which compared to the market is a very respectable outperformance. Now, what does this mean and why is this happening? Well, like I said, Jensen came on yesterday, the news, and he was pretty much talking about how, Blackwell, just there's a lot of demand for it. He was saying essentially that's pretty much, what happened, right? And then the stock started pumping after hours after that, pretty much right after he said that. So interesting timing on that. But, we talked yesterday how, it closed back above the 21 EMA, right? It had another arguable, false breakdown below the 21 EMA, but it actually held the same support that these candles back here held that I somehow missed because I was too focused on the 21 EMA, right? But again, like I said, because we're kind of zigzagging through the 21 EMA, it's at least as of right now, I'm putting less weight into its importance for now because I don't like the way we're zigzagging through it like this left and right. That makes me a little bit less convinced of how important it is, at least for now. So we didn't make that move up, right? We didn't make the move down like I thought we would, but that's why I have cash secured puts because, I want to buy down here, but I'll sell cash secured puts. If we don't get down there and we actually do something like this, which is a little bit on the more unexpected side, because I didn't expect this to happen personally, I still benefit off of it. I'm still making money on this move. That's the best part of it. But what can happen next, right? What is NVIDIA? Is it just ready to break out, right? Are we rocketing up to 130 from here, or is this still an area to be cautious of? I personally believe, again, this is just my analysis, I could be wrong, but I think this is still an area to be cautious. Why? Because you can see we came up pretty much that major resistance area, which is what I told my members this morning. I don't know if I can find that post. I've actually posted a lot of things today, but essentially I told the NVIDIA members today the fact that 123 is where the resistance begins, all the way up to about that 125 to 126 area, and we came up to as high as 124.5, right? Why is that the resistance area? Because, well, 123 is just a general resistance area, like you can see before here, act as support, resistance, support, all the way back here. It's a pretty important area, 123. But where it's also getting damn close, 123, it's getting very close to that descending trend line, because again, we're in a descending trend line from the top and an ascending from the bottom. We're getting tighter and tighter, right? So this is obviously naturally descending down into us. So we're pretty much getting into this trend line resistance sooner than before. So, again, descending. Now, this is an area of resistance. So this is definitely an area where, you want to be a little bit cautious. And the reason I'm saying that is because despite this move up, you're still seeing the stochastic. It's curling back up, but it hasn't crossed bearish, right? If anything, it's almost like it wants to come back up and retest that bearish cross down to potentially continue down even further. Kind of like what it did back here, you can see, right? Massive move downwards, and then it went up, retested it, and then went down even further. Just kind of like that, but could be happening over here, just as an example, right? And same with, the BX trender is actually making a higher low, but the band is still red, so it's a little bit undecided there. But you can also see kind of what I said before. It's kind of looking like it's retesting on the true strength indicator. It's kind of like retesting that bearish breakdown here as well, similar to the stochastic, right? So that's why, to me personally, this move right here, not only is it still a little bit concerning, and I'm not fully convinced because of these indicators, because I'm still kind of seeing some bearish momentum personally, despite this move up here today. We'll see. The way I said this back yesterday, I said this the day before. The way I look at it is pretty simple. All this movement in here is chop, right? This is to annoy day traders, annoy people that are trying to trade, the intraday action and price action and whatnot, right? Or maybe like swinging one day or something. What I want to see is either, well, I'll move back down to my optimal entry area, which is again closer to this bottom trend line, 110, 107, something like that. If I don't get that, no problem. What else I want to see is this, to get a more convincing entry. I want to see it break out. I want to see it break out of this trend line. I want to see it come out of this trend line, which currently sits at around 125 to 126. And I want to see it turn back into a support and then make its way higher from there. That's what I want to see. And I want to buy on either the breakout or the retest of the breakout, right? That's kind of a more convincing thing because I'm buying on strength. This right here could still be a bull trap. And the reason it could still be a bull trap is because there is still a chance that this actually could be setting up a head and shoulders, a bearish one. You can see it laid out right here. We have the left shoulder here, we have the head right here, and now we could be setting up that right shoulder, especially if we don't go too much higher than today's high within the next few days of trading. So that's why I want to be really, really careful personally with how NVIDIA is setting up here, because it's setting up what could be a very damn classic looking head and shoulders pattern with the neckline could be something looking like this, right? Bam, head and shoulders with a neckline. If you don't know what a head and shoulders pattern looks like, I will Google it quickly. It's giving me Head and Shoulders anti-dandruff shampoo. Give me a second here. Stocks, I guess. Images. Let's take a look at this one. All right, we're kind of setting up something similar like this. Actually, this is pretty close to what we're setting up, right? You can see here, head and shoulders pattern. You have the left shoulder, head, right shoulder. You have the neckline. And then obviously if it ever breaks down below that neckline, well, congratulations, it's now playing out, right? That's kind of what I'm currently expecting as of right now. Obviously, maybe not. Maybe we break above 125, 126 and we turn into support. That's a possibility. I'm not denying that whatsoever. That can happen. But I'm waiting on actual confirmation of one of these things to happen. Do we continue maybe downside? Maybe we actually do move to the downside. Maybe this is a bull trap. Or maybe this is actually strength, bullish strength. And then I want to see follow through. I want to see it break out and show me and prove to me that this is a bullish move. Until one of those things happen, I'm more or less on the sidelines, maybe selling some cash trigger puts like the ones I did, for instance, a couple of days ago on this red candle back here on Tuesday. And you know, I'm perfectly happy with that, right? I'm waiting for one of these scenarios to play out so I don't get chopped in this price action. That's just me though. That's just how I'm playing it. Doesn't mean you have to do what I'm doing. Absolutely not. So just keep that in mind. But that's kind of my main way I'm looking at NVIDIA here. You know, that's probably the main aspect I'm eyeballing. I'm just waiting for one of these situations to play out, right? It's really just that simple. Now, let's take a very quick look at options flow, right? How is the options flow for NVIDIA? Well, it's actually nowhere to be found on the bearish. Actually, it's on the bearish side, 13 million, nothing crazy. Wouldn't put too much weight into that personally. Let's take a look at the actual individual options flow, which by the way, I have a link to these down below for the softwares, Blackbox and Cheddar Flow. I also have a discount code if you want to use it and try it for yourself. So again, the link is below. But in terms of options, the bulls are definitely stepping in today, right? The bulls are definitely stepping in. A lot of calls coming in once again. But to be fair, NVIDIA, I feel like every time I look at NVIDIA, it feels like there's just always millions and millions and millions of calls coming in on this thing. It's actually pretty ridiculous how the bulls are very relentless on this stock. I will admit they're very, very relentless. It kind of reminds me of like the old Tesla. It's just the amount of bulls that come in on the stock with very heavy money behind it is pretty impressive. But nonetheless, you know, the main thing I'm just looking at is, like I said, I want to see a break above 125 to 126. I want to see this trend line breakout. I want to see it hold and retest it successfully. And I want to see that continuation upwards. That's what I want to see. And I'll enter on strength. Or I want to see it break this neckline of this head and shoulders pattern that it's potentially setting up. And then I'll buy on weakness back down somewhere closer to the 110s to 107 region. Other than that, I'm playing it relatively safe. I'm selling cash trigger puts and I'm just enjoying this chop while the premium is getting eaten away on those puts I sell. And I'm just waiting for better confirmation. So anyway, that's kind of the main thing I'm looking at, right? And that's just kind of how I am observing NVIDIA moving forward as we enter what could be, you know, still a questionable October. So we'll see how it plays out. But yeah, all that being said and done, ladies and gentlemen, if you enjoyed the video, please don't forget to hit that like button and I'll see you for the next one. Peace.